Now in this video I'm going to take you step by step to create a whole section or block for a website or landing page, just to show you how I actually do it. Okay, so first we are going to have select these two components and we are going to copy them over here. Let's paste them over here. Okay, now you can see I have this heading, and let's ungroup everything. We don't need any frames or anything. Maybe I can just remove this. So we have just 6 boxes over here. Ungroup, and again we are going to use ungroup. Okay, so you can see over here, let's ungroup this frame too. So we have few cards over here. One is this one, then again this one, and this one. So we have one row for these three. Then again we have another row which is next cards over here. Okay, so let's build 2 rows just by aligning these like this. And here we have the heading. Let's use another text to have this is a subheading. Okay, and let's use regular 24, and I'm going to change the color to something else, like a little bit lighter color. Okay, so here we have the subheading. Now I think about this card, you can easily create or reproduce this card. We have already done this. So here you can see again I have this card, and then I have this content. If you click on the card, I have 20 pixels all around it, and this I think it doesn't work over here. Anyhow, for the content you can see I have 32. If I click over here, it is between these two elements. Then if I click over here, again we have this text icon that is separate, and text is separate. So if I want to control the spacing between text layers, I can do that by using something over here. So this is how I have built this whole card and all these cards. So one more thing is, once you have built everything, your whole card, if you want to create a component out of it, you can do that. But before that, make sure your auto layouts, your responsiveness of that card, if you want to extend it or in vertical direction or horizontal direction, you have to test it before that. Okay, so once we have all these cards, I want to have first I'm going to select these two. Maybe I think I should have this turned on, and for this already it's on. Okay, so I am going to select these two, Shift A to have this auto layout, and I am going to call it heading plus subheading. Okay, you can call it heading too, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now let's select these 3 cards by holding shift and clicking these cards, and Shift A, and you can see we have 46. Let's use 30 because the spacing between grids is almost 30. So you can have more space if you want to, doesn't matter. 36 if you want to. Okay, so let's keep it 36, and again we are going to create another row by selecting these 3 and Shift A, and here we have 42. Let's use 36. So now we have one row. This is going to be row 1, this is going to be row 2 or 2. So now you can see this naming also matters a lot, so make sure you name these properly. Now we have 3 rows, 1, 2 and 3. Spacing between them we can control by clicking each row, but we also want to control the space between these elements. So first we are going to combine these 2 rows separately, Shift A, and we want a spacing of like 56 between them, or 48. Let's use 48. Okay, so this looks much better. So this is going to be content, and this is going to be heading. So now we are going to combine these two Shift A, and this is going to be our section, tax issues. Let's call it like something like this. Okay, so here we have a whole section built with auto layout. Now if you want to go few steps ahead, you can have a fill color of I think we had something like this, or this, yes, this one. So we have a fill color now, but what is happening, we don't have any padding or spacing around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a padding of like 130 on both sides, and oops, I think what is happening, fixed, no, so what is that, fill container, hug contents, yes. So I think this was happening. Okay, so we have 120. I think you need to select it to hug contents for the inner contents, and I think inside we are going to use fill content. So it is going to fill the container, and the container outside the content, it should hug the contents. Okay, so hug actually means mostly we use it out on the outer containers to hug the contents inside them. Okay, because I think I haven't touched the hug concept, so this is how the hug works. Okay, so if something squeezes down, the hug is going to be squeezed down. If something pumps up, it is going to pump up. Okay, so we have hug inside, and again inside we have fill. So inner rows have fill, outer container has hug, and this one also has hug. Okay, so hug for the section. 120 I have set over here, and on the top and the bottom I'm going to have 64 at the top, and bottom let's keep it 64. Let's use 80 over here. Sometimes I use 80 pixels for the. Okay, so this is our whole section of a web design or development or whatever you are doing. You can build this whole section with just auto layout. So you can see over here I have been controlling everything. So you can see if I so here we have the spacing between 80. I think 80 is too much, so I'm going to use 56 over here like this. Okay, so this is perfect. So now this will be your assignment in the coming video. So I hope you have learned how I actually create spacing around a whole section or block on a web design. So you can use the same technique I have used to manage spacing, to manage layout, to create whole sections based on auto layouts. Not everything should be included in an auto layout, just to ensure. Let me show you one example. Here we have another section, and you can see I'm not using auto layout for this section, and I have a group over here. You can see this is basically a group, because these two were a bit at the bottom. So if I try to use auto layout between these three, let me show you. So they are going to align automatically at the top. So this is not what I want. So I just kept them in groups. This is basically auto layout because they were in the same direction, and this is basically a perfect row. Okay, so this is how I actually used auto layout, and try to use groups when I don't want the position of the things to move around with auto layouts. Similarly, you can see I have auto layouts inside these, but not everything for everything. It doesn't work for everything. Okay, so this is how the auto layouts should be used. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Let's move on to the next lesson and learn more about auto layouts. Take care. Bye bye.